everybody, it's Alyce-Kay Ruckelshaus at Threshold of Hineni in Sweetwater, Tennessee, and we're really moving on this thing, and it's getting to be really fun. I'm expecting Bill home in about half an hour, so I picked out a bunch of really quick things that we can do so that I can just stop when he gets home. Okay, so I'm going to start with the thing that would take the longest, and that's a fake envelope. Okay, so I've printed the same thing on both sides. I actually would prefer to have not done that, to have printed it differently on both sides so to have the contrast, but this is how I did it. So what you do is you're going to have kind of a long piece, and let me measure this. These, just estimate. I didn't even, okay, so it's 4 inches, no more than 4 inches wide. You do want to be no more than 4 inches wide. And it's about 8 1/4 inches long. Okay, so it doesn't matter, you don't have to be exact. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to bring it up about that far. Okay, so that means that I've got about 2.5 inches that I've come up. Okay, then I'm going to fold it not all the way to here. Okay, it's going to be up to like about here. All right, and I'm going to fold it down like so. Okay, now you can just leave it like this if you want, or you can cut off the corners to make it look a little bit more like an envelope. So we're going to cut all the way from this fold here to about the center, and I should find out where the center is, shouldn't I? So that is, I'm just going to make a teeny tiny crease teeny tiny crease right there. Okay, so that's where the center is. So I'm going to cut straight from here to the center. Here we go, and there's thread there. Oh yeah, I prepared ahead of time by zigzagging my stuff and distressing it because that's what I like to do, and you don't have to do that, of course. But I didn't want to take up all your time having you watch me do that, and I can do it faster if I'm not talking anyway. Okay, so then we bring this up, and we've got this little pointy thing here. Okay, so but then we've got a gap. So what we're going to do is we're going to bring it down like about here. We're still not going to have it all the way down to where that comes up. See, we've still got a space right here. And I'm going to go ahead and make a thumb hole right there because it'll just make it easier to, well, actually no, we don't need that because we're going to make this so we can open it. We're not going to make it into an envelope. Okay, so we're going to make this so we can open it and journal on it. So I'm just going to have it shut like that, and it would help if I make it straight. Okay, so we're going to do that, and I am going to glue a button on it after we glue it into the book. And I know that makes it bulky in the book, so it makes it hard to write on the page right above it. So what I do, I don't have any with me right now, but I have a bunch of pieces of cardboard, a fairly thick cardboard, and then whenever I do a journal, I include a piece of cardboard with it, and that way you can stick it underneath the pages, and that's a common thing to do for junk journals. It's called a writing board. So so that's what I'm going to do. I am not going to sew this closed on the sides because what I want is for us to be able to open this up to write on this. Now, what we can do too is we can either, glue the whole back, or we can glue 3 sides and leave it open as a pocket on the side, which I think I want to do so that we have even more journaling space. Okay, so let's do this one too. Let's do both of these at the same time. I'm going to fold it up here about that much. I'm going to fold it down here about so much. I'm going to find the center, which I should have done before I started all my folding. Sorry. Silly, silly, silly. If there's a lighter side to your paper, then that's where you want to, that's what you want to put inside because that's where you're going to journal. Although you can journal on the outside too. But you know, some of it's going to be against the page, so you wouldn't be able to journal on that part. Okay, so there we go. Okay, so then we're going to fold it down a little bit now. There we go. And since it comes down below that, I'm going to just kind of make that a straight cut across. Okay, now I'm just going to keep this really simple. We could put a little strip of paper or ribbon across here to tuck this in, but I find it's kind of hard to get it tucked and untucked. So I'm just going to put the button on for decoration, and that's it. Okay, so let's look for a page to put those on, and I think I want to put it someplace where I've got a pocket on the bottom already, like this, so that I can balance it out. Not so much for looks as for, you know, it's getting real chunky down here and it's not as full up there. Okay, so I think that's where I want to do it, and I think that there's a pocket on the other side too. Yes. So let's just take this out, and we're going to put one of these envelopes above each of those pockets. All right, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to make a little mark on the back. Okay, I want this side here to be a pocket underneath. So I'm going to make a little arrow there. So, and that's not going to show because that's going to be against the paper. So I know not to glue that side. All right, so I'm going to do my glue. I'm going to do it along all three of these sides, but not that side that I'm going to leave open as a pocket, because I want to have as many pockets as possible. I always like to have as many pockets as possible in all my journals, but in this one especially because we're going to be doing a lot in it. Okay, so and then I want to center it above these pockets here, about above that pocket, and I need one of my little cosmetic thingies. Come here. Sorry, it's nighttime, that's why there's so much shadow. I don't know how, I don't have, you know, that's another thing I still have to figure out is lighting. There's so many things to figure out when you're doing this stuff. Seriously, you guys, if somebody's really technically, and you want to come stay with me for a week and teach me how to do stuff, that would be awesome. Okay, so there's that one, and let's do the other one and then we'll put on the buttons. Okay, so this one, I want this side over here to be open, so I'm going to turn it over and I'm going to mark it with an arrow so I know that's the side I need to keep open. And I'm going to, and I know that it doesn't lay flat right now, but it will after it's been in the journal for a while. It's it was really curled from the humidity, and that's another reason why I like to use the not cross stitching. Let me think while I'm doing this here. The zigzagging, because it helps my paper not to curl when it's humid like this. Okay, so I'm just smoothing that all out and then make sure that no glue has come out. No, that's good. Okay, and I want to make sure that both my pockets are open like they're supposed to be. Okay, now it's underneath the writing space. Okay, you can write on this space here, and there's a pocket underneath there. Okay, and then you can write in this space, and there's a pocket underneath there. And we can make that a secret pocket, or we can put something with a tab or a tassel sticking out so that we'll remember, because if I do secret pockets, you guys, it's not everybody else who's kept out of them, it's me, because I forget that I have them. Okay, then what I like to do in the buttons is I like to take a little bit of twine or yarn. I'm going to use twine because it's faster. And I like to put it through a couple of the holes. With twine, you don't need a needle, you just stick it through the holes. Okay, and then I'm going to tie a knot because I didn't get enough to make a bow. That's fine. Sometimes I make a bow, but you know, it's okay. And Abraham's not a bow guy, right? Did he tie bows in his sandals? Probably not. He probably just did. I wonder when people started tying bows on their shoes. Anybody have any idea? Okay, so that looks kind of cool, right? Okay, so let me get the other button ready. And I'm doing it on the buttons that are across from each other, not ones that are next to each other. There we go, see? I'm just pulling it all the way through. I'm tying a knot, double knot. And I don't know if I'll leave it that long or if I'll come back and cut it later. We'll see. Well, I'm definitely going to cut that one because it's not even. It doesn't have to be exactly even, but that's a little ridiculous. Okay, so then I am going, and remember that these aren't going to be next to each other. These are on completely different parts of the book, even though they're on the same piece of paper. And then I'm going to, so I don't need to worry that I blunted this corner, but I didn't blunt this one. Okay, then you're going to want plenty of glue. And I'm putting it on the button itself, and it is going to come up through the holes, but that's okay because it's going to dry clear. I want to put plenty of glue on there, push it down, all right, and then plenty of glue on this one, and then I'm going to set it aside. I'm not going to put it back in the book until it's dry. Okay, so I'm going to have to put something in there to mark my place because I'm not done working because Bill's not home yet, and I want to do as much as I can while he's gone. Okay, so let's see, what can I put in there to mark my place? Just a scrap or something. These are my scraps. Okay, so I'm taking a scrap and I'm folding it in half to mark where that page goes. Okay, and then I'm going to set this page aside so that that glue from the buttons can dry. Set it someplace flat. Okay, then we can work on our next little project. Okay, so the next thing is a corner pocket, and I'm only doing one right now. I'll probably add another one later, but I'm just going to do one right now. And I think this looks like a really good place to do it. What do you think? Okay, and if we want to, we could put some cheesecloth or something, but to be honest, we have plenty of stuff coming off the sides and everything. And actually, I do want to leave a little bit of space on the edge just in case this is where we need to put a flip. So I'm not going to put cheesecloth there. And I think I'm going to sew it, if you don't mind. I would rather sew it. You can glue it, of course. You can also staple it. Some people do a lot of stapling in their junk journals. Okay, so that's always a possibility. Okay, and like I said, I'm going to leave a little bit of space because this might be where we do a flip or something. I don't know. So I just want to leave that space. So I'm going to go all the way down the side first, and I'll come back and do the top after I'm done. Okay, so, oops, there we go. I'm zigzagging down the side. One corner, and then I'm going to come up the other side, but I'm not going to go any farther than that. And I'm going one stitch beyond the end. Well, 2 stitches. That's okay. All right, and then I'm going to come across the top just to fasten the top in place, and then I'll show you what I've done. Okay, so here's what we've done. Okay, and I had zigzagged all the way around this before I got on camera, and I also zigzagged from corner to corner. I'm not really sure why, but I just felt like that would help stabilize it. Okay, so where's my little thingy? Here it is. Okay, so what I just sewed right now was I sewed down the side here, along the bottom, and then up here. Okay, right there. And then I came and back and did it across the top. So what's open is this whole inner L. Okay, so you can stick a pretty big sheet of paper in there, or you can stick a whole bunch of different little tags and bookmarks and whatever. Okay, so that's our next thing. All right, so now we're going to put that all back together. Okay, and like I said, Bill's coming home pretty soon, so when he comes, I'm stopping. Okay, how are we doing time-wise? That's 15 minutes. Okay, so this next thing is really quick. I've got these 3 medallions, and I'm not good at cutting circles, but hey, that's okay. And I distressed all the way around these, and then because it was white, I didn't want it to be stark white, so I took my ink thing that already had ink on it, and I just very lightly went around and just, you know, got the white parts, but very lightly. You know, I didn't want to make it real dark or anything. Okay, so what I'm looking for is another place where we have a pocket, maybe on each side, but nothing on the top. Okay, and I'll show you what I'm going to do. Well, there's a pocket on the bottom here. That's the one that we did together, right? This one? Okay, and I still haven't found my letters. I still have to do that. Okay, here's one that I can do it at. I don't really like it across from this. There's that flip-flop thing. No, I want to do it on something that has something on the bottom, preferably. Okay, I think I did this one without you guys. Okay, so it's the same as that other one that I did, or maybe it was the other one that I did without you. No, I think it was this one because I added this to it and I had to deal with the tassels on the side. Okay, but it's the same as that other one that I did with the 2 pockets. Okay, and then I just added some cheesecloth to the bottom. So I'm still looking. Here's our timeline centerfold. I don't think I want to do it above one of those. It's too crowded already. And actually, okay, we could come back and do it there, but I don't really want to do it there. And this one has something on the top elsewhere. I could just do it on a whole new sheet too, because I'm going to be adding pockets elsewhere. I think I'll do that. I think I will add this. Do we have something over here? What do we have here? That's where we did that. Okay, I think I want to put it to the front. The reason that I'm putting it towards the front is because the other life thingies, oh, I don't want to put it there with those on the other side because I'm going to sew. This would be good. No. These things, the character arcs that we're going to do are closer to the end. This is filling up, you guys. This is cool. Okay, so let's do it here on this one here. And I only have one of this size, so we're just going to do one of them. I'm going to sew again. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to fold it in half. And it doesn't have to be exact because you're not going to see the other half. One's going to be on one side of the page and one's going to be on the other. I'm putting it up here, and then I'm not going to zigzag. I'm going to straight stitch just right at the top, okay? So that it barely catches it. And then that way it'll be kind of like a little clip that you can stick. It's a little tuck, a top tuck. All right, and then we'll put like another pocket or something down here to kind of give it some balance. Okay, and sometimes I do some fringe around it, but I'm not going to today. That takes a lot of time. So I'm doing it really close to the top edge, and I'm going to back stitch just a little bit. Okay. So there we go. So what we have is a top tuck that we can just tuck something in like that. See? And it stays. Okay? And we've got it on both sides. Okay? I'll try to remember to bring my French industrial thing to the table sometime so I can show you how I do fringe around the outside, because that's really pretty, and you might want to do that with yarn or whatever, cheesecloth, whatever. And if I say cheesecake, you guys, I mean cheesecloth. Okay, so we did that. Where are the other papers that I had? Did I put them someplace? Oh man, you guys, I'm such a mess. What did I do with them? Okay. Well, okay, so we need to check through here anyway, and maybe that's where we'll find them, is someplace lost in here. But every once in a while, now that you were getting to where we've got a lot of pages done, every once in a while we need to go through and check and make sure that everything is right side up. Because at this point, if you start getting pages that are turned upside down, you're going to end up with pockets that are upside down. Okay? And no way to rectify the situation. So we're just going to go through, we're going to make sure that everything is right side up and kind of admire our work really quickly. And hope that the rest of my pockets show up. You guys are probably all telling me where they are, but I can't hear you. Huh. I don't know what I did with them. That's so weird. There were some more of these medallions that were smaller that I want to use as corner tucks. And I think that I had some more like Rita Donnelly flips or something. There's our timeline flip out. It flips out farther than what I just did. Okay. Gosh, you guys, isn't it pretty? It's getting to be really nice. I love it. And if you don't love old looking things, then just do yours with white. Oh, I think I see everything right here. There it is. Yay! Okay. So the next thing I want to do is these two medallions, and I want to find a corner to put them in. Like that is perfect. Is there anything on the other side? Yes, there is. Okay, so we're going to glue. We're not going to sew this one in. If you sew it, then you would sew like around about this much. Just a little bit past the bottom and a little bit past the side. Okay, but we're going to glue. And this is so easy. But it just makes another plate. It's about halfway around. It just makes another place to tuck more stuff into. And it adds more color and interest to the whole thing. And I'm just going to stick it right on top of that cloth there. Okay. So that's that. See, that was easy and fast, right? Okay. All right, so that's one. Do we have a space open on the other side? I think we do. Yep. Okay, so we're going to put this one over here. This one's a little bit bigger, and I have kind of a square edge where it was cut off by the side of the paper. So I'm going to try to line that up with the edge. Sorry, you guys, I'm trying to stay in camera, and sometimes I forget. Plus, every time that I do this, the space where the camera gets is different. Okay, now I'm going to line that up. There we go. Let's pull that. Okay. So that was easy, right? The main thing was the prep work for it. Cutting it out and distressing it and adding vintage photo ink to the white areas. Okay, so we've got our little tuck right here. Okay, so we can stick some things in there, and the same thing with this one over here. I left a little bit more open over here. Okay, so then the next thing that we have is a couple of side tucks. Okay, and we might just go ahead and do that across from these ones. What's on that side? These kind of need to be sewn. I mean, they can be glued, but for me, because I like to sew, I really want to sew them. So I think I'm going to do this on here and here. Yep. Okay. You can glue them. Most people do glue them. Okay. I like to sew, and I like the look of the sewing, and I love having all the little threads hanging out because I do not cut the threads off. I like that kind of shabby chic look to it. So, okay, it's not quite the length of it, so I'm gonna have a little bit of a border all the way around it. That's hopefully kind of even. And I start about one stitch before the paper that I'm sewing on. Oh, and it's not zigzag. Ah, I want zigzag. Sorry. No. We want zigzag. Okay. I'm not a fan of straight stitch. It's not as pretty. Now there are some people who sew in their journals who only use straight stitch because they think that the zigzag weakens the paper. Okay, and I have the opposite philosophy. I think that it makes it stronger. So I don't know which one of us is right. It's kind of funny. Everybody has their own little theory of things. We won't know for like 200 years until we see how these last. Which reminds me, coffee stained paper, you don't want to put your precious old antique photos with them, okay? It's not archival quality. It probably would totally destroy them. But if they're photos that you have on your computer and you want to print out photos to put in it, that's not a problem because then you keep the original safe on your computer, okay? So no, like original antique photos that you only have one copy of. Alright, I'm going to move this up some because I really like the bottom. Okay. Ah! My stitching kind of went weird, but that's okay. That's funny. I don't know if you can see it. I'm getting tired, you guys. I was up all night teaching, and I've done, I don't know, like 6 or 7 videos tonight, plus a lot of stuff just on my own, prepping for it so you don't have to watch me cutting things and zigzagging. Okay, so there we go. So these are side tucks that you can stick a pretty big sheet in. Okay, and we're going to put these back. Are these the right direction? Nope, it goes that way. Okay. See, and then we'll put like another pocket or something down here. I don't know if maybe one of these Rita Donnelly flips, maybe? Huh, or do I want a pocket? I think I want a pocket there. Okay, so this is actually going to be a flip down. But, so I'm going to put a pocket there. So where do I want to put my Rita Donnelly flip? That could be nice. Or here. Kind of like that. Yeah. Okay, I've got 3 of them. I mean, of course, I'm going to use all of them. I think I want blue here. I really think that's pretty. It's kind of Asian, but that's okay. When I keyed Middle Eastern into the search engine, it came up with a bunch of Asian stuff, which to me is Far East, but maybe I'm wrong. Anyway, it's probably not something that Abraham had, but this is a combination of Abraham and me, right? Okay, and this is printed on both sides. Okay, and I can't remember if I said to you or not, because I'm so tired. If you're using my PDF, remember that the things that look square aren't necessarily square. You may have to square them up before you zigzag and distress and everything. All right, so there's that. Okay, and see how we've got this nice texture? We've got all this zigzag here. All right, that's so cool. Lots of zigzag. I love zigzag. It adds interest to things. Now this would be beautiful across from that because it's the same colors. Let's do that right there. I don't usually do two flips so close together, but I can't resist that. And I'm getting a whole bunch of glue boogers here. That one's going to leak out. I'm going to have to fix it. I'm going to have to dab at it here. Okay, so these again are the Rita Donnelly flips, so they have a pocket built into them right here. Okay, and you can right here. Let's make sure that I didn't glue that other one shut. The one that I just did. Oh, I got it open. Okay, good. And then this one, let's put towards the back someplace, like here. Will that look nice across from there? Oh, it looks better across from this because of the green. Okay, so we're going to put this here. Okay. Wow, we got all this done and Bill still isn't home. Oh dear. He must have had a long night at work. Okay, we're just over half an hour, so I'm going to finish this up and we're going to look through really quickly, see if those buttons are dry so that we can put them back in. I always check just to make sure that I didn't glue it shut. I mean, at this point I couldn't do anything about it.